Morning, welcome back to the channel. Very quick punchy video today. I'm going to be fitting this. I'm going to be changing my 2020 RSV4 1100 into race shift configuration. Now, I am well aware that a lot of people who watch this channel will be screaming now going, why are you making a video about that? It's a 2-minute job. Cool. If that's you, please feel free. You don't need to keep watching. But I have no idea how to fit one of these. I've never done it before, and my suspicion is there'll probably be a lot of other people out there who've never done it before either. So they might be wondering, why are you doing that in the first place? I'll explain that in a second, and also how do you actually do it. So I'm just going to make a really quick video showing how I do it. Anyone who's followed me for a while will know that if there's a DIY job to cock up, I will be the one that cocks it up. So I've had some instructions from the guys at Park It Racing, up here, link, go and see these guys on how to do it, and it should be dead straightforward. I've had dead straightforward DIY jobs in the past that take me hours, so we'll do this and I'll make sure that I get it right, and then I'll just show you how to do it. But why am I doing it? So there's a real specific reason. In fact, actually more so, there's a specific corner as to why I'm doing this, and what actually made me think, oh, I get it now, why this is why people do it. And it's coming at the end of the back straight at Cadwell. You turn into Park Corner, turn in second, and as you're going around Park Corner into Chris Curves, I think they're called, you need to short shift up into third, but you're leant over to the right like this. So you're leant over, and what happened to me on several occasions at the last track day in particular is, as I'm leant over and I'm just going to move my foot around to put underneath the peg to lift it up into third in standard configuration, my big fat size 11s on 2 or 3 occasions on laps, as I'm moving my foot to the outside of the lever, so off the peg to the outside, is just the edge of the boot has just clipped the gear lever, and because it's got auto blipper, it's registered as a downshift and it's pinged it down. I think twice it hit neutral and once it hit first. But obviously, which was a real big problem, and a little bit of poo may or may not have came out. But if you have it in race shift, worst thing that's going to happen is it's going to short shift for you, and it's fine. So it's much less dangerous when you're short shifting and you're at lean angles or whatever. So that's what's prompted me to do this. So anyway, without any more chatting, let's talk more action. Let's go and fit this onto the bike and make this real quick video for anybody who's interested. Okay. Right, so this is the standard one. So looking at this, it looks like we just need to undo here and then undo this nut here, sorry, this one here, take the gear changing rod out. Yes, that is the technical term. Alright, cool. So that's the nut that was behind it. There's nothing else behind it. Just try and get it all out in one go. There was a washer behind it as well. Right. So if we look how that bolts on, compared to this one, this bit is just up here, so this arm is literally just moving from here to here, and that's what changes the configuration. Also, I am told take this out of here. Alright, so that's the old one. And this is the new one. So I guess screw that in here. And the length of this is what affects the angle of the lever. So just essentially, there's a spacer here, just to show you. Because if you look at the way that this one's built, let's take it out actually. This spacer just makes it the same width. So the spacer goes on the inside here. Oh, sorry, on the outside here. In fact, let me just get a cloth. So yeah, spacer on the outside. Feed the bolt in. And then washer here. And then nylock bolt. So now that's on, so I just think we need to see how that needs adjusting. So I think it just needs to be a touch higher. You can see as I'm twisting that, this is raising up. Watch. Let's test that out. That will be perfect. So, actually that wasn't too difficult for me. I was a little bit confused with the rod thing, getting that out, and tightening up this little rubber thing here. You've got to get that just precise, otherwise the gear lever feels a bit too stiff. Once you've got that adjusted, pretty simple. So now we've got 1 up, 5 down. Rather than the other way, so that should hopefully be a little bit safe on the racetrack. So look, real quick video. I get it's not for everybody, but for anybody who wonders how to put a ratio configuration lever onto a Aprilia RSV4 1100 factory, if there's a DIY job to cock up, I will be the one that cocks it up. So if there's a DIY job to cock up, I will be the one that cocks it up. Morning, Tony. Right, I need your help. I have fitted the race shift gear lever. As you can see here, it's quite easy. That bolt went in there. This that was under here is now here. That's fine. The lever's adjusted to my foot position. That's cool. But the issue is, when I change up, this bit is hitting this bit. So going down the gears, easy. Coming up the gears, not so much. The space is in here, so it looks like it's, I don't know, it's a good few mil wrong. Help. So, what intended on being a quick 3-minute video, just to try and help out some people who might be less mechanically inclined like me, which is what this channel was always supposed to be, helping people out, has now turned into what always happens when I tend to do DIY, a massive drama show. So what you just saw is me, the gear lever was hitting the shift rod, so I messaged Tony. Tony said just twiddle with the shift rod a bit and move the gear selector one spline to the left. So I did exactly that, moved it to the left, twiddled it around, and actually, when I did that, it cleared it. So then what you don't see on the video is I actually took the bike out then and just took it around the block. And what was happening was, going from the new first to second to third to fourth, the blipper wasn't working. And the only way it would change gear was kind of like old way of clutches upshifting, where you just sort of roll off the throttle a bit while applying pressure to the lever and it'd change up. Coming back down the box, perfect. Auto blip, fine, smooth as anything. And I was like, oh my God, this is supposed to be like a 2-minute job. How on earth have I managed to cock this up? So, long story short, as soon as that happened, I was like, this is electronics now. Confused. I just chucked it in the back of the van and just took it down to Tony at Park It and just said, fix it, mate, please. Which I probably should have done in the first place, but I'm trying to learn these things, right? So I'm trying to figure it out. Anyway, Tony sent me a couple of videos explaining what was wrong, so I'll let you see them now.
This bolt here had wound itself out ever so slightly, like it has now, to be fair, because I just tightened that up, but I will put a drop of Lockie in there, mate, to nip it up. So it was very close to that, but as you can see, I still clear it. I don't know why you had these in, but it didn't seem right, because this seemed loose and baggy around, but I've repositioned all of that, and that's tighter now. But also, if I come down here, I've gone for a more 90-degree angle on that. So then that's at a 90-degree angle, just by twiddling. So I think it was a throw thing, more than anything, but as you can see from the other video, all sorted. Get all this nipped up, put some Loctite where I need to be. You might just want to test that, and away you go. Cheers, man. It's ready to collect. Bye.
So look, you know, I'm prepared and well aware of the rinsing that's probably going to come from releasing this video, but I wanted to show it you know, warts and all. This is an issue that I ran into. Probably not very many of you, but even if 2 or 3 of you run into this and this helps you out a little bit, then good. But look, you know, if you've never done something before, how are you supposed to know how to do it? You know, you just have to learn. And you know, I followed Tony's instructions on how to do it, and albeit a couple of tweaks and twiddles, I think was what Tony was saying he did. I'm sure he did more than that, but either way, I'd pretty much done it right. I'd just not adjusted it properly. But I'm a very sort of matter-of-fact person, so I don't want to experiment with something I don't know anything about, so I don't want to start moving things a spline to the left and a spline to the right, because I don't know how that's going to affect it. And this is my bike, it's a lot of money, and I don't want to break anything, and I'm quite historically capable of breaking things. So if Tony says do this, this and this, then I'll do that, and anything outside of those parameters I don't want to do. So look, anyway, I took it down to professionals and they fixed it. It's the end of the story. This is just what happens when I do DIY. It just turns into 3 more jobs. Look, it's done, it works. I've got the race shift on, it's all good. Like I say, if this gives you a bit of a laugh or gives you 10 minutes to give me shit on Facebook, then crack on. I deserve it, but it might help some of you. And either way, whatever. It's got race shift on now. So thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks to all the new subscribers. There's loads you keep coming on board, which is mind-boggling to me, but I'm really appreciative. So cheers, and I'll catch you on the next one.